There's a misconception that humans want or are seeking for happiness. I followed this misconception for a long time. And I realized in my studies and my work with different people that what humans actually are searching for is freedom. Freedom. Freedom to do what they want, to do it when they want, where they want, with whom they want, how they want, right? And this is what we are looking for. And you're probably, if you're anything like me, also human, looking for freedom. But hang on a second, freedom from what? Have you thought about that? What are you seeking freedom from? And if you're like me, I searched, well, I thought I'm seeking freedom from kind of a way of life, a way of living, perhaps financial freedom in certain senses, a better job, freedom from needing to go to kind of work every day, maybe starting my own business, whatever it may be. We're seeking freedom in different senses, and all of us are in different stages in our life where we are seeking some sort of break away from it. Now, as I went deeper into this and I considered this, I came across that actually what we're seeking freedom from is ourselves. So bear with me on this one. Now, how am I saying seeking freedom from ourselves? So if you're like me and you're human, which I again assume you are listening to this, that mind that the moment you wake up, this incessant chatter, jab, morning, noon, and night, till the time that your brain actually goes unconscious and you fall asleep, your mind is always talking to you. There's always this roommate that's living with you, right? The moment you wake up, oh, I don't want to get up. Oh, I got to go to work. Oh my goodness, that email I've got to send to that person. Oh goodness, I forgot about this. Oh man, I've got my doctor's appointment at 12 o'clock. I've got to attach this thing into that thing. And it's on and on and on and just never stops, right? Now, wouldn't it be a delight to turn that off for a little while? And that's kind of what we're going to dive deep into this video about, right? And you've tried many things. We all try many things. Most of us actually are, I would say in this day and age, we've got enough entertainment surrounding us that we probably default to doom scrolling. I think probably in the older days, we would do a lot more alcohol, probably some drugs, trying to find ways to escape. And then of course now there's also an increasing awareness about meditation. So you've tried meditation, you've tried the apps, you've tried therapy, you've tried changing jobs, you've tried getting a promotion, you've worked at maybe shifting countries. I don't know, the list is endless. You've tried so many things, but no matter what you've tried, this voice never stops. It's just going on and on and on and on. And maybe you're asking this question, hey, I feel kind of imprisoned. Is there a way out? And I want to call this moment of, whoa, I realized this, as the tipping point. And it's going to come in every human's life, because your soul is talking to you throughout your life. Yourself is talking to you throughout your life. And so this is what we are actually seeking. We want freedom from this, right? This incessant chatter. And in neuroscience, this has been kind of identified or kind of boxed into something called the DMN, or the default mode network, which is basically we've learned to function a particular way. So in the morning, those neural pathways just begin firing as they always did. We go into panic mode with certain discussions, we go into stress mode with certain situations, etc., etc. We're just playing out the same things again and again. And what I want to say to you is that this is not something that's to say that your mind is broken or something's wrong with you. It's how evolution and decades of conditioning have brought us to this place. Now, let's talk about how did we get here. So, I was watching a recent, I learned something recently. Gabor Maté, who I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. He's a physician and also an author. And one of the things he talks about is that humans have two needs. The one is a need for attachment, and the second need is a need for authenticity. Now, humans, out of all the different species that are available, humans are very attached to their mothers, and then we form relationships, and that's how we survive. Imagine in the old days when you were in a tribe, if you were just on your own and you had to fend off a wild animal, that was just you. So we grew to be attached to each other. And in that attachment is we need it. We've now developed this need for it. So, and at the same time, we're also authentic. We want to express ourselves freely. That's the freedom I was talking about earlier. We want to be accepted for who we are. But what happens is that these two, attachment and authenticity, begin to find rubbing points between each other as life progresses. And oftentimes we trade off authenticity for attachment. We'd rather have that sense of attachment than be authentic. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. So what happens is that, and probably I can explain this quickly. For instance, when you're young, you smile and then an adult smiles back at you. Ooh, beautiful, right? There's a lovely acceptance there. You feel attached. The moment someone smiles at you, you feel attached subconsciously. Now, when you smile as a kid again, and the adult just gives you a blank stare, or kind of a frowny face, you feel something in your system goes, oh, hang on, am I allowed to smile? Did I do something wrong? You don't even know whether you did something wrong, right? Now, fast forward this to a school system set up, and teacher says, do you understand? You say, no, I don't understand. You raise your hand and you ask a question. Everybody else bursts out laughing because they're like, oh, you're so stupid, right? So what happens is that by default, you get conditioned to say, maybe I shouldn't ask questions, because that's how I get ostracized from the group and I lose my attachment. The authentic curiosity within you decides you suppress it over time and you don't ask questions. The fast forward to a work life, your boss says, any questions? You're like, no, I'm good. I really understand. But then you're going through all these things where you don't really understand. But this has not come overnight. This has come through conditioning, right? And in IFS, which is the internal family system, something I'm studying right now, is what happens is that over time, there are kind of parts of us. We're all made up of multiple parts. And parts of our psyche begin to emerge. So there are the exiles, which are basically your most authentic parts of you that over the ages you have learned to suppress, because if they come out, you get rejected and you lose your attachment. So you send those into exile. They're kind of pushed down. They're not allowed to come up, One way I like to think of it is like, you think something's funny, you want to like roar with laughter because you personally, uniquely feel that's funny. But then everyone else around you is like, why are you laughing for that stupid joke? So you kind of hold yourself back and you suppress it. You're like, whatever, and then you go and laugh maybe on your own, in your private space. Now, in order to keep this, the exiles kind of protected, right? Protector parts arise within you, and there's two kinds of protector parts that arise within you. One is become managers, and the others become firefighters. Now, the manager protector parts are basically the ones who are responsible for they're the proactive ones, right? They make you get up on time, go to work, be the good citizen, wear the tie, do the job right, fall in line with what society demands of you, what your parents demand of you, etc., etc., right? So this is kind of the protective part that says, let's not disturb the peace here, like let's do our job. And then, that's the protector manager part. And now you have the firefighter, which is basically when a situation gets a little bit heated and you feel yourself kind of pushed in a corner, how do you respond, right? Maybe there's outbursts, or maybe there's also numbing that takes place. Like you want to eject yourself from the situation, you withdraw quickly and you go find some way to numb yourself from this pain that you're feeling in that circumstance, right? So this is the thing, but this is how we got here, and this is how the system is functioning until there's a point where you will hit a point, and I think every human hits this point, if not multiple times, if not once, multiple times, that you go, hang on a second. Just wait. I see what's going on here. And there must be a way out of this. That exact moment, or that point in time when that question arises, I call this the tipping point of soul, right? So when soul and self is loud enough and growing and saying, come on. This is not how you want to live your life. This is not how life should be lived. That's the point when the shift begins to happen, right? And this is the door to freedom. This is the door to the real freedom, what I was talking about earlier. What is the true freedom that you can find is the freedom from yourself. Now, how do you go there? Now, before we go there, I want to talk about a concept, right? So something that we have been taught over time, I don't know about you, but I was taught, like, you are the mind, you are a body, and you are a mind, and you have a soul. C.S. Lewis, a beautiful author who wrote the Narnia Chronicles, he had this beautiful statement where he says, you are a soul and you have a body. And I also want to build on that. So you are a soul and you have a body and a mind. And this is what the ancients taught us, right? And IFS calls it the self. I call it soul. Many people call it different things. In the Hindu traditions, it's called the Atman. In Sufism, it's called the beloved. Jesus calls it the kingdom of God is within you, and God is in you. This is the temple of the Holy Spirit. Do you not know you are the temple of the Holy Spirit? So it's right here within you. And all of these are doorways to the exact same thing, yourself connected with the universe. I just want to read something here from the Isha Upanishad, which is a beautiful statement of the self. The self is everywhere. Bright is the self, indivisible, untouched by sin, wise, immanent, and transcendent. He it is who holds the cosmos together. So this is from Isha Upanishad, verse 8. It's a beautiful description of self, and this is who you are inside. This is what you contain. This is what you're connected to. This is the source that you have. That's the beauty of it, right? And now we're sitting here with these parts and suppressing all of it. So you're not your mind, but your parts, yourself, are using the mind and body as modalities or vehicles or mediums to speak through, right? So that's why you feel things in your body. That's why you think certain thoughts and they flow through, right? And there's a beautiful way of living when you begin to live from self and from soul. Things that arise is calmness, just genuine curiosity, clarity, compassion, and courage. And there's so many other things that arise, but all these authentic responses that arise, you begin to feel less and less shameful about them, right? And you begin to walk in the confidence of who you are. And many people I've heard who've gone on this journey and reached that point, and I myself included, right? I'm like, man, I didn't even realize that it was possible to live this way. Wow, I didn't even realize that. Now I realize it's possible to live this way. This level of equanimity, right? So what I would offer right now is to say, if you're at this point and you feel, oh, I want to get free, and he's saying something that makes sense, and you feel like my world is falling apart, I'm breaking down, things are breaking down around me, no, things are crumbling around me, I invite you to slightly shift that question and instead of saying, why is it all breaking down? Rather ask, what is breaking through? What wants to break through and emerge? So I'll give you an analogy of an egg. So when you crack an egg from the outside, you take life. It doesn't have a chance to grow. But when an egg cracks from the inside, birth, new life is generated, a fresh life is generated in that whatever bird that emerges from it, right? Or whatever animal that emerges from it. So this is how, when we connect with ourselves and with our soul, the grip of this running mind begins to loosen. It loosens its grip, right? I'm not saying it goes away completely. It's always going to be there. I still have it today. But its ability to drag you like if you get your ankle caught in the stirrup of a horse and you've fallen off and it's just dragging you through, that is not happening anymore. You begin to have the sense of, okay, I see the thoughts, and you begin to have a different relationship with it. There is the sense of there's a sense of this sense of calmness, the sense of just knowing, the sense of life is so much bigger than this. I am so much bigger than this. And you can contain all of this, and all of this contains you, and you're contained within the universe, and so that doesn't feel so paralyzing and stuck. And what I would like to kind of invite you is that if you want to learn how to let the self emerge, how to let the soul emerge, how can I get free? Connect with me, right? There's resources that I've put in the links below. Reach out. I read every comment. I respond to every email. This is beautiful work that I just so adore. And I want to see more people like being free from this, right? And just taste this freedom. Come to that place where it's like, wow, I never knew I could live like this. I never knew life could be so free, right? One thing I can share with you in this point is maybe a small practice to get to know yourself, get to know your paths, right? Why? So Eckhart Tolle talks about these moments in our lives that come that like hit us like a brick, and then you're like, oh my God, what am I doing with my life? Maybe a loved one passes away. Maybe you face a big calamity like a job loss or a serious accident or a health issue or something. Why wait for something dramatic like that to happen to begin asking this question and to begin really connecting with who you are and seeing the vast universality and fullness of who you are and your life, what your life is really meant to be? I'm offering a gentler way, and I'm offering a path with a guide like me, who've guided other people and who has gone on this path myself, and I'm still walking the path. But 6 months we sit together, we go through this, right? And you're like, there's this beautiful Chinese proverb that says, ask not for an easier journey, ask for stronger legs, and what I love about this proverb is it really speaks to life. Life is going to have tons of ups and downs, dear friend. It's not a straight shot, it's not a smooth road. If you've lived a bit, you know that already. But getting in touch with your soul and with self and the real depth of who you are, this is developing strong legs that no matter what happens, right? So like, I think there's a verse in the Bible that says as well, when the foundation is strong, the wise man who built his house on the rock, no matter the waves and things that the storms of life can come, the house still stands firm. You can go through any situation once you get this soul self strengthened, awakened, arisen, just filling you up and lighting you up, right? That's the way to live. So ask for stronger legs. So just want to read a quote, well, a passage from Michael Singer's book, The Untethered Soul. Beautiful passage. So here we go. If you want to free yourself, you must first become conscious enough to understand your predicament. Then you must commit yourself to the inner work of freedom. You do this as though your life depended on it, because it does. As it is right now, your life is not your own. It belongs to your inner roommate, your psyche. You have to take it back. Stand firm in the seat of the witness and release the hold that the habitual mind has on you. This is your life. Reclaim it. And the course that I offer, the program that I offer, is to develop these stronger legs. How do you develop stronger legs? You got to go to a gym. I have a gym. You bring the muscle. We have fun. That's how it is. So, and on top of this, what I'm actually doing is like I'm beginning to, if you think 6 months is too much, I'm going to offer or begin opening up monthly gatherings, right? You don't need to have a religious background. You don't need to know and understand any of this. Just curious. I want to be free. That's all you're asking. I just want to find freedom. Come, join. There is a small donation that I'm going to make optional. People from around the world gathering together, just asking this question. Perhaps there'll be a little bit of teaching. There'll be perhaps some guided meditations, and just open dialogue, honest dialogue, to talk about these things, to discuss these things, and just to be in presence with each other, to hold each other, right? To journey with each other through these things. So this is there as an offer to you to please, feel free to join. So yeah, as I always say, and well, I'm learning to say more and more in my videos, is your soul is waiting. It's your move. Namaste.